Well, here we are. We're sitting in the financial services firm of Gray, Gray with Rich Hirschen as my co-host, and that means this is a special edition of Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and here is Rich.
Hello, everyone.
Rich, that's a lot of words for Rich. Big talking Rich. Want to welcome back some guests we've had before, very dignified guests, Barry Crimmins and Noreen O'Toole, co-founders, Platinum Partners, with their new brochure.
Yeah.
But Rich hasn't met you yet, so do me a favor, guys. Tell us what you guys are doing at Platinum Partners.
Sure. You want me to go?
Yep,
Okay.
I do.
So thank you, Jeff. It's nice to be back again. So Platinum Partners was an idea that I had a few years back, but it came into fruition just this year when Noreen, who had been the town planner in the town of Stoughton, told me she was planning on retiring in February. And after not being able to talk her out of retiring, I then said to her, how about we go into business together? And she said, doing what? And I said, well, let's form a real estate permitting and consulting firm, and we can. And she said, what will we do? And says, well, we'll advise both private sector clients, those could be developers, those could be businesses, and public sector clients on any types of municipal permitting needs that they may have. If Gray wanted to expand their building or grew out of this site and wanted to build a new building, they would have to go for certain permits, and we would be involved in assisting in that process with the rest of the development team, the engineers, the architects, et cetera. You want to talk about it?
Yes, and actually, when Barry approached me, I really didn't pay too much attention to him. I was.
Sounds typical.
I get that.
I thought I would have a little time off to myself, but I ended up talking to him the following week, and my role is so different from Barry's role, being a planner. I have my master's degree in public administration and my concentration in urban planning from Northeastern. So I really do come in on the government side, and I really can't change who I am. I've done it so long. So I think what I add to our team is I'm more that advanced person that goes in, perhaps after meeting with the developer, meeting with the whole team, the project team, and I go in and I may sit down with the town planner, I may sit down with the conservation agent, board of health, building inspector, and sit down with all those entities that used to come to me as a planner. So I'm just coming in on the other side, but I can't think more like Barry thinks, because mine is more toward the planning side and the government side. So I can talk to the planner and say, what does the board expect? What's going to happen here? And so what I do is I write a report for the team and forward it to Barry. And what ends up happening is we decide how to approach this, in which way. And what I'm able to do is tell you the particular steps you need to take, because each town is different. Each town has different regulations. Each town has their own personality of how they want to entertain a project coming into their town. And if a particular project, I guess I can ascertain they might need public engagement. If public engagement is needed, then we will do that too. We'll go out there, meet with the community groups, talk to the neighbors. So that's something that I did on the other side all the time, and I think that developers should do that more. So I bring that tool also to the table.
She just needs to break out of her shell. She's a little timid and shy, but we're working on that.
Is this an area of real estate consultation that most people don't think about and should be thinking about?
Yeah, because I think what happens is, particularly on more complex projects, you've got several different disciplines involved typically in a project. Oftentimes the developer is first going to meet with an engineer. They might go through several iterations of a site plan before they come up with a site plan that they're happy with. They may then meet with an architect and go through several different concepts for the building before they come up with a building that they like. Then it's marrying the building with the site. But then that's generally where we come in is once those disciplines have met and come up with a site, a building, married those two together, now we have to look at it to see what permits is that project going to need in order to get built. And that's where we come in, as Noreen mentioned. Her services are invaluable coming from the public side as a former town planner, where, as she mentioned, she can speak to the folks in the town halls and the city halls, and there's a certain affinity that they have because they come from the same background.
And I can give you a very current example. We're working on a project in the town of Randolph, and the permitting end of it, and it's a 108-unit apartment complex. And just by going through the websites, going into the town hall, I saw a flyer on one of the tables that said they were having a public engagement meeting on their downtown revitalization. And we're actually working in that area, Crawford Square Business District. And it makes it a little confusing because Randolph has 12 business districts. So we're working in one of them. So I thought that it was important for me to go to this meeting for our client and for our team. And I'm not sure that in another project, if they didn't have a planner, someone would think of going to that planning meeting. So it was on a Saturday, and it was 9 to 12. And I moved from table to table, listening to community people, listening to what they're looking for in their downtown. And I think that's important to bring that back to our project team, that I attended this meeting and this is what the residents are looking for and this is what they're not looking for. So I think that's just another thread in the planning process which helps the team be successful.
It sounds like the two of you offer, your backgrounds and skill sets really complement each other very nicely. Mm-hmm. Noreen, you mentioned that when Barry first asked you, you kind of, I don't know. Any regrets now looking back on it?
Oh, no. He said a week was enough time for me to have off. I had planned on doing something anyway. I'm not a person that would have ever retired. So I just hadn't got to that stage of how I was going to put myself out there. I knew I could just do small things. And then when I met with Barry, it just kind of gelled together because we're so different. I'm a planner, he's an attorney, so we overlap, but we still are separate as far as our jobs. So I think that I've never been in a partnership, and we're not in competition with each other. We just complement, as you say, each other because we have different skill sets. Like I can say, they're never going to go for that. Well, how do you know? I said, that's something I know. Okay. So then we go on to something else because I've worked, from Boston to the suburbs out here. And you know what planning boards are looking for.
Yeah, but this is your first foray into being an entrepreneur. Has that been a total shift for you?
A little bit, but not so much because as a planner in Stoughton, I was on cable a lot, probably more than I should have been, talking with the board, talking with consultants, answering questions. So it's not something I'm used to answering questions is what I'm saying.
We've been speaking with Barry Crimmins and Noreen O'Toole, co-founders of Platinum Partners, very interesting business. Guys, if somebody's looking for you, how would they find you?
Okay, well, we're listed on that World Wide Web thing that they have out there at www.platinumpartners.com. That's probably the easiest way for folks to reach us. We have a toll-free number, 888-239-9911. So those are probably the two best ways to reach us.
All right, and if anybody's interested, there's also a new pocket mailer brochure,
Correct.
And you both look like you're in a law firm with those pictures.
Yeah.
Don't we? We are.
Well,
A law/planning firm.
great having you on the show, and thanks again to
Thank
the
you.
firm of Gray, Gray, and Gray and Rich Hirschen. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.